This meeting is being recorded.
For problem 1 from chapter 20, we're asked to give both the IUPAC names and the common name for each of these compounds. So I find the easiest way to accomplish this is to draw out the structure from the bond line or from the molecular formula given. So we see here that we have two carboxylic acid functional groups, and then in the middle we have three CH2 groups. So if I was to sketch this out, I would see something like this. Right, we have our two carboxylic acid groups on the end, and then 1, 2, 3 CH2 groups in the middle. So when we go to name this compound, we're going to name it as a diacid, a dicarboxylic acid. And let's number our carbons here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my parent is going to be a pentane. I have 2 carboxylic acids, so I'm going to call it a dioic acid. This is my IUPAC nomenclature, so pentane dioic acid. And then there is also a common name for this, where we have 5 carbons total in our chain with 2 carboxylic acid groups. We call this glutaric acid. All right, let's take a look at compound B. So the longest chain now is only going to be 4 carbons, and we only have 1 carboxylic acid functional group, 2 more carbons in the middle, and then our CH3 on the end. So if I was to draw this structure out here, so I'll have my OH over here, my carbonyl here, and then let's make sure that we have the right amount of carbons. So 1 for my carbonyl, 2, 3 for these 2 here, and then my 4th carbon here. So I have 4 on my longest chain, so I'm going to call this a butane parent. I'm going to take off the E since I don't have a dioic acid. I just have butanoic acid would be our IUPAC. And then the common name for this is butyric acid, RIC. All right, so that was compound B. Let's take a look now and see if we can fit compounds C over here. So C, now we have a carboxylic acid group that will be attached to a ring. So we see the C6H5 notation over here, and that should make us think of a benzene ring. So this is our C6H5, and then we have COOH. So that would be here. So if we were to name this as an IUPAC compound, this would be benzene carboxylic acid. The common nomenclature, so that's IUPAC. Common, we'll write down here. That is called benzoic acid. All right, let's try to draw D over here. And for D, now again, we have dicarboxylic acid. We see 2 of those COOH functional groups, right? So here and here. And then in the middle, I'm going to have another 2 CH2 groups. So I have OH with my carbonyls on both ends, and then I go back and make sure that I have 2 CH2 groups in the middle. So now if I was to count, right, my longest carbon chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, what I see here is that instead of butanoic acid or a single carboxylic acid group, now my IUPAC nomenclature for this would be butane, and then dioic acid. And the common name for this, you would have to memorize, would be succinic acid. All right, so for the remaining 2 compounds, you can follow a similar pattern. as far as if it's a single carboxylic acid group or more than one. With both of these, it looks like we're only going to have one carboxylic acid group. So instead of drawing out the structures in full, this one here we have two. So we would see something like this, and we would call this IUPAC ethanoic acid. And then the common name is acetic, which you probably know that already. Acetic acid, 2-carbon chain. Last but not least, we have a single carboxylic acid functional group and 2 hydrogens on the end. So this is called formic acid as the common nomenclature. And the less common way of referring to this is the IUPAC, and this will be methanoic. So it follows that single carbon in the middle, and these would be all of the IUPAC names and the common nomenclature for these 6 acids.